Mary was invited for a job interview, and while the panel were all seated in the boardroom, it was Mary's turn to be interviewed. She politely went in for her interview. She sat down politely with an erudite countenance. The head of the panel looked at her intently. He cleared his throat. Your name is Mary Ogbebor, right? Can you tell us a bit about your experience in the last place you worked? While she was composing herself to answer, there was this farting sound that zoomed into the air. Within minutes, everyone was looking for something to cover their nose. This was a great stench. Mary broke down, crying. She bowed her head in shame. When she raised her head, she found herself all alone in the room. No one needs to tell her she just lost the job. In this video, you will be amused by the series of shame that Mary went through with her uncontrollable farting habit. Increase the volume, relax, and let's begin. Mary's fart only comes when she's at the verge of breakthrough, and most times she often forgets that she has this evil ailment. Well, Mary continued with her lie. The good news is that she is happily engaged to a long-time lover, and they are planning to marry soon. The day came that she wanted to go and visit her would-be in-laws. The whole house was full of guests awaiting Mary, the pretty bride-to-be. She entered, and everyone were very happy to see her charm and beauty. They took their turn to greet and hug her. All of a sudden, the joyful moment was turned into chaos. Mary held her breath. Her lover saw her raising her shoulder and looking uncomfortable, but she could not hold herself anymore. The warehouse of fat is about to open. Can she hold it? This time, the whole house was filled with the stench of this evil mess. Who could this be? From where? But the mother-in-law had the sound coming directly from Mary. Mary was sweating out of frustration and embarrassment. Most of the family members ran outside to take fresh air. They gossiped that they wouldn't want that kind of bride in their family. Mary left the place in shame. I'm sure the police tear gas won't be able to disperse crowd like Mary's fart. Shortly afterward, she got a job in a hotel as a waiter. The hotel management loved her for her look and smile. Mary is a perfect epitome of beauty in this hospitality industry. It was a 5-star hotel. Mary was very happy because everything is going on well as planned. But the day came when there was a very great conference in the banquet hall of the luxurious hotel. Dignitaries, international businessmen, and government officials were present. At the peak of the event, it got to the time when refreshments were to be served. The management of the hotel specifically mandated that Mary was to be the one to serve the men on the head table. She wheeled the refreshment cart towards the front of the hall where the dignitaries were seated. All of the men on the head table were looking at the imposing figure of Mary. Before I go further, I want you to subscribe to this channel. You have not seen anything yet. More insanely interesting videos are coming. Don't forget to like and share too. So, let me continue. Mary got close to the head table and she bent slightly to drop the drink in front of the chairman. All of a sudden, the farting sound was heard, loud and clear by everyone around. It was a moment of chaos. The chairman rose up, covering his nose. His ADC covered his nose in anger too. Everybody escaped for their life as Mary drew the curtain over the event. Sorrowfully enough, Mary was sacked from her job that same day. The conference organizer had to sue the hotel. The accusation was, among other things, that the hotel had wanted to disgrace their invited guests. Mary was jobless for some time. With the advice of a friend, she was advised that she could be using a medical diaper for adults. So from now on, till further notice, Mary goes everywhere with her customized medical diapers. One of those times, she was at a party and she bumped into the son of an oil magnate. The guy's father has fleets of private jet. Within months, the guy by the name Clifford wanted to marry Mary. Mary was fully armed with her diapers. She has gone to visit her in-laws to be innumerable times, all with no problem. Fortunately for Mary, their wedding date was fixed. Shortly to their wedding, it was concluded that Clifford and his mom's sister would fly to London to shop for their wedding. All went well. Their courtship had lasted for over 7 months. All this time, there was never any form of fat embarrassment. They drove to the tarmac and checked into their private jet, and the takeoff was smooth. There was merriment, there were jokes and selfies in the plane. All of a sudden, Mary felt the urge coming from nowhere. She controlled herself, but the blast could not be heard. Right there was a blast, and everyone heard it loud and clear. The stench was unbearable. Clifford's mom ran to the restroom. Another one ran towards the cockpit. The pilot could not bear the stench. Mary was crying uncontrollably. In short, ask herself, will you allow your brother or son to marry a lady like Mary? With this, Mary knew instinctively that her predicament is not ordinary. She started to go from one spiritual homes to another. She went to white garment churches. She went through many spiritual rituals. She went to several babalawos and witch doctors and many churches. One day, she went to one deliverance ministry and emphatically called out Mary. The prophet said, there is someone in this congregation that has problem with farting. Mary was frozen on her seat. In fact, she had made up her mind that she will not come out. Mary sat still and stubbornly refused to come out. The prophet called out her name. There is someone here under the sound of my voice. Your name is Mary. You have problem with farting. If you don't come out, I will fish you out. You are dressed in a white and purple striped blouse with a yellow beret. Everyone in the hall were all looking around towards Mary. The prophet called for a calm and silence. There was a deafening silence. Then suddenly, Mary felt some rumbling within her. She tried to control herself, but the pressure was too much. Suddenly, the farting sound blasted the air. Every worshipper around the altar took to their heels. The prophet could not control himself. He was ushered off the podium. That was the end of the service. Some officials of the church had to detain Mary for questioning. She was seen as an agent that came to scatter their church program. Many months passed by and Mary didn't see any embarrassment of any farting. She has assumed that she is already healed. But her childhood friend, Linda, is getting married in a few months' time. She was glad to grace the occasion as the bridesmaid. Her friends never knew that Mary had this evil ailment of farting. The wedding day came and the newest couple were all seated gracefully. Mary was excited. Linda was emotional as she was about to make a vow with her soft voice. Suddenly, Mary felt the urge to hiss out her horrible gag. What? The farting sound was so loud because there was a solemn silence already. The revered priest could not bear the horrible mess. As he ran back to his seat, the parents' in-laws were frozen with horrible smell that filled the air. The fan blew the stench all around. The church secretary came out to announce that the wedding ceremony has been postponed for the next 2 hours, that people should go out to gain a little fresh air. Several cans of air freshener were sprayed around the whole church. At this juncture, Mary knew that her predicament is not ordinary. She wept for days and weeks. Guess what happened next? Let me know if you would like to watch the part 2 of this video. Moral lesson: don't handle perpetual problems with kids' gloves. Act on your embarrassing predicament without delay. Thank you. See you later.